Partnered by Times Influence.
Picturesque landscape, dreamy waters and a pure slice of life. That's Turkey, a perfect marriage of the East and West. Considered a top holiday destination for travelers across the world, Turkey boasts of scenic settings straight out of a postcard. No surprise then that the Travel Agents Federation of India decided to host its International Travel Convention 2017 at the richly historic Turkey. The convention saw tour operators from across India join hands to build a strong bridge for tourism between the two nations. This year, breaking away from tradition, the International Travel Convention was organized not at one, but two truly exotic destinations Turkey had to offer, Dalaman and Antalya. The theme for the International Travel Convention 2017 was Sustainable Success, Smart Way Forward.
When we talk about international destinations, when we talk about the society which we are moving in, it's a combination of ethnic, it's a combination of old and new. So what we were always, it was coming to our mind that what are we? So we get an answer, we are the power of the industry. What we are going to be. So we are looking for a force for the future. And when we talk about the force for the future, is what comes to our mind is smart ways, younger generation, technologies, and another bright ideas how we can sustain, how we can find smart ways, and how we can find a smart destination to be promoted on a reasonable cost.
The International Travel Convention was inaugurated on a high note with key members of the Council addressing an enthused audience.
Her Excellency Madam Shivelik, Governor of Mula, Mr. Fasli, Director General from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Mr. Kulshresht, Ambassador of India to Turkey, President of TAFI, Mr. Praveen Chugh, Mr. Emin Bey of Turkish India Tourism Council, and Mr. Yücel of DOCTOP, distinguished guests and speakers, friends in the media, and fellow delegates. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to discover the potential of Turkey. Very much in keeping with today's needs, our theme for this convention is Sustainable Success, the Smart Way Forward. We do have Dr. Burak Akapar as the keynote speaker, who in his opening address will set the tone for the deliberations. He will be followed by an amazing array of illustrious experts to guide us towards this mantra. There is a lot to learn from these distinguished gentlemen and the others who will lead us down the path of sustainable success. So let's spend the next 4 days to learn and have fun, to digest knowledge and unwind. Happy networking, friends.
Dear Governor, dear Ambassadors, Consul General, on behalf of Turkish Indian Tourism Council, I would like to welcome you all. As soon as we met our friends and brothers and sisters in India, we really feel that there is so many common culture in between us. So much history, so much culture, very close to each other. So it's pushed me to integrate and take the initiative of establishing Turkish India Tourism Council to promote Turkey in India and India in Turkey. I really thanks to all of you, because without your support, without our partner supports, without you, without your contribution, we could not able to bring Turkish tourism from 2006, 4,000 passenger. In 2015, we reached almost 150,000 passengers. So without your contribution, without your support, this cannot be possible. I really would like to thank on behalf of my country, on behalf of my council, on behalf of my private sector for your support and contribution. Nevertheless, I would like to thank for your coming and wish you successful convention, and we are still seeking and looking forward to receive your great support that we can achieve our target to reach in 2023 1 million Indian tourists to host in India. Thank you very much and namaste.
The most important thing that we gained through this process are the friends that we have made. Our Indian friends opened their homes and hearts for us. We believed in them and they believed in us, and here we are. Dear TAFI members, we are lucky countries. Both India and Turkey have rich geographies, rich cultures, deep roots, and a shared history. We understand well how modern Turkey's founder, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, was an inspiration for Mahatma Gandhi's struggle for independence and for his profound thoughts. Dear TAFI members, you will be able to see only a small part of our country during your short visit. We have no doubt that you and your prospective guests, once they have seen Turkish hospitality in person, will visit our country more often in the years to come. Thank you.
India-Turkey relations have always been marked by a lot of warmth and goodwill. I think that tradition continues to inform our relationship. Since we are here at the TAFI convention, let me mention that the number of Indian tourists coming here has been steadily increasing. And I hope that after this convention and the next tourist season, we'll get even more Indian tourists. And I'm also hoping that this convention will also encourage Turkish tourists to visit India. Tourism is extremely important, and I think besides a revenue earner, what it will definitely do is to encourage and build people-to-people contacts.
The 11th International Travel Convention will return after the break. The inaugural session of the International Travel Convention 2017 continued with speakers addressing the audience on sustainable success.
I here in Antalya, it's not in Dalaman. It's not a coincidence that TAFI is having a convention divided into two states, Dalaman and Antalya. There is a state, Antalya, which has 12 million tourists coming into that state every year. And in Dalaman, it's about 1 million tourists coming. We want to understand why Dalaman wants to have more and more customers from India, and how we can sit together and find ways and means to understand the area, the district, which is equally beautiful, which has sea beaches, which has mountains, which has serenic beauty, hospitality, culture. What can we do? What else Indian tourists will demand for? Ladies and gentlemen, the first glimpse of Mughal district must have given you an impression this is the district which can attract and give our experience to our Indian visitors when they come. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a very, very successful convention. All the best.
Relations between India and Turkey go back into history. There is indeed a very deep cultural connect. Some of the greatest exponents of Sufism, Mevlana Rumi and Yunus Emre in Turkey, Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, Nizamuddin Aulia and Amir Khusro in India were near contemporaries. There are, as Divya noted, several thousands of words common between Hindi and Turkish, and the contribution of Turkic culture to Indian art and architecture, cuisine, costumes is well documented. In the more recent times, most of you would be aware of the strong sympathy and support in India that existed for Turkey and its people during Turkey's War of Independence. Perhaps all of this explains the reservoir of goodwill for India among the Turkish people. Bilateral relations between India and Turkey have also been marked by cordiality and friendship. High-level visits, a visible feature of our ties, bear this out. As evident during President Erdogan's recent visit to India in May, there is mutual commitment on both sides to transforming the bonds of friendship into a vibrant, dynamic, multifaceted bilateral relationship. This is as much a convention that I and my colleague, Councillor General Khan, lay claim to as it is yours. And we are indeed very proud to be associated with it. So let me also acknowledge the assistance and support of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism of Turkey, the Governorate of Muğla, the Turkish Indian Tourism Council, and several other associations and individuals who have contributed to this event. Before I conclude, I wish you a very pleasant stay in Turkey and success with the convention. To my Turkish friends, I convey my warm greetings and best wishes for your Republic Day, which you will celebrate the day after. Thank you all once again.
Değerli konuklar, Sayın Büyükelçim, Dışişleri Bakanlığımızın çok değerli temsilcisi.
Dear honorable guests of the convention, I would like to welcome you warmly here in Muğla.
İyi akşamlar, hoş geldiniz. Hindistan Seyahat Ajanteleri Federasyonu'na
I wish the Indian Tourism Council success in this event. Also, I would like to wish success to Turkish and Indian participants of this event.
Teşekkür ediyorum.
All work and no play can definitely dull the setting. To ensure that the spirit of euphoria stays up, a gala dinner was organized for the guests at the convention. The second day of the International Travel Convention literally put the bee in business. Thought leaders and experts from across the globe took the stage to address the audience on a variety of topics.
Ladies and gentlemen, leaders of TAFI and dear friends, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to Turkey for the 11th International Convention of the Travel Agents Federation of India. Dear guests, friendly relations between Turkey and India have their roots in history. We are here representatives of two very old civilizations that have interacted with each other for centuries. It is enjoyable to discover that India and Turkey have indeed a considerable cultural overlap. We understand that the Turkic impact on India in areas such as culture and civilization, art and architecture, and costumes and cuisine was considerable. Turkey also offers a wide range of thematic tourism opportunities like winter and health tourism, as well as culture, history, and archaeology-focused tours. I believe that having TAFI convention at Dalaman and Antalya will further boost tourism between the two countries, and thank you all once again for this choice. Thank you for your attention.
I am really very happy to be here with you today. And also we are more than happy to welcome you here in Dalaman.
I know the TAFI's importance in the tourism market in India, and I know the delegation numbers as 1,450, And I'm so glad that you are here and you are organizing your convention in Turkey.
Son derece önemlidir. Hindistan, Çin, Güney Kore ve Japonya, bu 4 ülke aşağı yukarı...
As we look to the potential for the 4 countries, which is India, China, South Korea and Japan,
yarısına yakın bir nüfus ya da 1/3'ünden fazlasına ait bir nüfusu barındırıyor. Ve bu ülkelerin hepsinin ortak özelliği, özellikle Hindistan'ın son derece güçlü yeni bir orta sınıfa sahip olması.
when we look for the population, these 4 countries is equal to half population of the world. So we know the potential and we just take care about this potential. And also we are taking care about the friendship between India and Turkey, and this is the first priority.
Açılacağını, dünyanın farklı destinasyonlarını ziyaret edeceğini gösteriyor. We are more than happy to welcome TAFI here in Dalaman. So, of course, the group of delegation will visit different parts of Turkey, and they will observe the beauty and historical strength and deepness of the cultural side of Turkey in the same tour. So, definitely it will help to escalate the relations between Turkey and India, especially in tourism sector.
This is the 11th International Travel Convention which TAFI is holding. And Turkey is also with the basis of, looking into what a destination could offer. The travel agent or our member can expect is basically what is relevant in today's times and how to do business in the current scenario, which, as we all see, there's a lot of disruptions going on. So this is what they learn, and over and above, even the other principals and other allied people connected with travel agents also come here and they can network.
Kickstarting the business sessions on a high note was renowned ad man Bharat Dabholkar, who enthralled the audience with his take on the need to market oneself the right way in a competitive world. With "It Begins With Us."
I must thank TAFI for inviting me here. If you are going to talk about advertising or creativity, the one thing that every industry needs now, forget where you are beginning from. With everything getting equal, the one thing that's going to make you differentiate from everybody else is creativity. Somehow people feel that creativity is something that you need in advertising or marketing. That's not true. You need creativity in every business that you do. All industries should have these kinds of conventions because people don't get together under one roof like this from the same business. We have it in our business too, that when you have these kinds of things happening, everybody from all corners of India and other places, they come together and then you can exchange ideas. It's not just networking to increase your business, but even exchange of ideas where people sort of say that, look, I did this and it worked for me, and maybe you could do this, a similar thing, because if it has worked for me, chances are it will work for you. And I think that is very important. It's an exchange of ideas more than, people call it networking, but networking just for business is not the purpose of this. I think it's a great initiative.
There is big potential big potential in Turkey in terms of outbound. There's about 14 million travelers every year, and big potential in India, which is close to 22 million outbound traveler. Means that both potential is great potential. Need to introduce to each other that India can receive more tourists from Turkey, and Turkey can receive more Indian tourists. Our ambitions and our dream that we can able to host at least 1 million tourists from 1 billion population. So the same numbers, when you look at the population of Turkey, 80 millions, at least 100,000 or 150,000 Turkish need to visit every year India.
Stay tuned to Travel Agents Federation of India presents the International Travel Convention 2017 only on ET Now. Providing a global insight on sustainable success, smart way forward, noted business leaders share their thoughts and insights on the next level with the participants.
We want to bring good quality living spaces for people. India is a market which is product striped. There are not as many good living spaces in our country, and there's no one investing capital behind saying that I will ensure the flooring is good, I will ensure that the ambience is good, and so on and so forth. Where we say that this is not just something that I'm talking about, there are 1,000+ partners contributing 20% plus of OYO's business today already in India on a monthly basis, and we learn more every day from them. So for example, our homes business was launched because around the Park Street area, every 3 months I get the opportunity to go once and meet all our travel partners, and they kept saying that a lot of our customers now want to go and stay at houses in Shillong and other places around them. When we went and launched that, we realized that it can also happen in Goa and Manali, so that's how we launched in other cities. So we want to continue to learn more from you for not just your success, but for our success as well. TAFI has been an iconic organization in the travel industry in India for the longest time. They have continued to build destinations. They've continued to show India to some of the beautiful destinations that exist across the world. So I'm so glad to have the opportunity to come meet the broader teams and the members at this point of time. We are the only hotel company in the world that can manage or franchise 30-40 room hotels in a good quality, in a profitable manner. We have 5,000+ people as a company, a 900+ people sales team who engage with travel partners nationally, and of course, hotel managers, civil engineers, and so on. Our belief is this is the investment that enables sustainability in the long term. Because the easy things to do is going out and making some transactions and business happen, but doing something that is truly unique for the small asset owners is what enables the 5 to 7 year sustainability. It is something is the least appreciated about a company. Everyone says what is good about you is you're available everywhere, is your low cost. Very few people say that these are the investments that are good. But 5 years out, hopefully our hope is people will say this is the right thing we did. This convention has two large advantages for OYO. The first one is OYO already partners thousands of travel operators across India due to multiples of reasons. Of course, it's a very important way of distribution for our hotels. It's a very important way of learning what new customers want and how do we make sure that we're creating hospitality products for them. Everyone in this room is an entrepreneur. If all of us make a commitment that 20 years later we want our children and our friends to see India as the biggest tourism economy in the world, we are absolutely there to make it happen. With this, thank you so much.
Let me start with something that is very close to my heart. I am part of the travel industry and I am part of TAFI and TAI for a long time. I started in the industry in the early 90s. So a lot of time is spent with a lot of colleagues out here. So I see very, what you call familiar faces, people who I've worked with, people who I've cooperated with, and people who I've partnered with. So in 2001, after working for Kony for some time as the head of the tour operating division, that is outbound, I started VFS. We had one center or two centers in India, and we had one government. Today, after 16 years, we are in 129 countries of the world. We have 2,600 visa application centers. We have around 10,000 people, and we do around 25 million visa applicants every year. So that's the size of VFS in 16 years.
TAFI is like a family, so you meet one big family, which is from the travel and tourism industry. It's important to learn from others at this conference. What are the things happening, the trends, the initiatives that people are taking, in terms of how is the market changing, what are people doing. So it's a good opportunity to absorb.
Keep the competition in your island, but focus on the customer. Very important, listen to the customer, understand his needs, understand his beliefs, understand his perceptions. He's changing every day. Sometimes he does not know what he needs. So you need to be the guardian. When a customer comes and tells you he wants to go on a holiday, don't ask him where, what type of destination. He needs something from you. So you tell him what he should do, what he should go. But if you keep on asking him questions, then he would rather go to the net. So I think the personalized service comes from the added value, the human touch, and like we heard in the morning from Bharat, saying, why would I go to somebody who's going to go to somebody in the destination, and why don't I go to the destination service provider directly in that country? That makes sense. But if you look at more and more, destination management companies are doing that. They are hiring locals to manage the local part of the business. It's not the market, it's the people, who are getting more and more exposed and more demanding. And therefore the market has to change based on the new demands and the requirements of the people who want to travel, or whether it's in terms of pricing, in terms of different marketing, initiatives that you do, in terms of the products that you develop. So it goes back to the consumer. The consumer is evolving, and therefore we need to evolve with the customer.
Turkey is an exotic destination, and where we come from, it's a Bengali people, the locals, they love traveling. So when we go back and do business with them, they say, what is next? So this time when we see, what we say, seeing is believing. So when we go and tell them this is so much beautiful, scenic at its peak, so I'm sure we're going to get a lot of business.
TAFI, always we are doing differently. For our convention, always our convention is very good. Particularly, we are taking a place is different. And most of our members are very happy such a destination. But even here, Dalaman is one of the best destinations. Everybody are coming to Istanbul. We want to do something, explore the second city like Dalaman, Antalya. So our members are good experience, and mostly our speakers and our other things also, tour and everything. We feel like our family. So all our members really expecting our convention every year. So I'm also proud, like our TAFI committee.
Travel Agents Federation of India presents the International Travel Convention 2017, which will return after the break. Business sessions continued on the third day of the convention at Dalaman. Leaders from different walks of life opened up to the audience about the latest trends in the hospitality industry.
I think the starting point is a change in mindset. Whenever we think about a collaborative relationship with a supplier, what is the first thing that comes into a travel agent's mind? How much commission are you going to pay me? You will recall that I started the conversation saying our shift has to be towards putting the customer at the heart of our business. You cannot serve two masters. So you cannot just focus your efforts on how much commission I can make. If the customer says, I want to travel with that product, what can you do to be as a part of that chain? How can you be part of that channel? How can you contribute meaningfully? And through that, the ability to charge a fee towards that. So to your point, I believe there's every opportunity for collaboration, but it will require a change in thinking, largely around what that collaboration looks like. Is it commission driven, or is it about adding value to the customer? What we've tried to do today is to share some insights in terms of market shifts, roles of travel agents and how that is changing and evolving, and to give some insights in terms of how that has affected our market and others, and how possibly the Indian market could learn and gain from those insights. TAFI are joint, also members of the WTAAA, and we work very closely with them on a number of global issues, but we also support them through shared information and insights. And then in terms of what they've done here and bringing everybody to Turkey, I think has been very, very exciting, and it's also presented all of us an opportunity to see the country for the first time.
The highest court in the land in Australia recently ruled, there's 5 justices, 3 ruled in favour of the fact that Flight Centre is a competitor to airlines because they were trying to arrange to have price parity clauses in their contracts. And so our court has now, our highest court, 2 no, 3 yes, the 2 we like, the 3 we don't like, have said no more, which of course from a contracting point of view creates many stumbles, because once we contract our rates, now by law, if we agree the price is $1,000 return Singapore, there's nothing to stop the airline putting it on their own website the very next day at 900. And of course, on top of our 1,000, while there is some base commissions still in our market, a lot of it's net, and we've got to add a service fee. Look, it is a big problem, and it's a big problem on the global stage. There are some good learnings from the EU and from the US. The DOT has made rulings on price parity. The EU has made ruling on price parity. And while even in Australia we've had a high court make a ruling, we're not standing on our laurels. As an organisation, we have decided to take the charge up with the politicians to say the good justices got it wrong. I think what we've brought is that the markets across the globe are very different when it comes to where the travel agent sits. But I think there's a common theme amongst all travel agents that we really collaboratively are a force for good. We're a group of individual people that work very hard, that customers rely on and that respect, and that together we can make a difference within the travel environment.
As far as from ASEAN's market is concerned, because our travel fairs are actually 100% consumer fairs. Consumers are coming directly to our fairs to buy packages, buy tickets, etc. and whatnot. And in most of our ASEAN countries, our travel fairs has been very, very strong, has a very, very strong branding. So because of that, actually, the low-cost carriers like Malindo's, Air Asia's, and a few others, they try to get into our fairs, and so that is our advantage. And fortunately, unfortunately, as far as our market is concerned, we have gone to zero for a long time. There's no more commission. We don't talk about commissions anymore. And the latest trend, of course, is buy-up seats, because if you're willing to buy up, and depending on the numbers, etc., you can get very, very low. On that aspect, actually, when we touch about IATA later and whatsoever, I have put forward this to our members. Think about what you want to do now. You have a choice now, whether you want to continue to become IATA, or whether you want to become an agent, that you want to deal directly with the airlines, etc. That you have a choice, because today's environment has actually changed totally.
When you have all your members coming in this place, it is not like when you're doing it back home, people, the members' concentrations is not there. So when they are all out together, locked in an area away from home and etc., I think that is where the value is. Most importantly, I think is networking, because networking is the most important thing. And today is because there's so many travel agencies and whatsoever. My take on it is that the travel industries, especially the small and the medium, even to that matter for the large one, they need to consolidate. The smaller agent need to consolidate among themselves to make themselves becomes medium. And as far as the medium agency also need to consolidate so that they becomes big. And the bigger one also need to consolidate so that they becomes global. I think that is very, very important. This is the message which I've actually also advised my members in the ASEAN regions to do likewise the same thing.
Business sessions on adjusting to changing trends in technology were also organized.
It's been 10 years since the last time I presented to a group like TAFI, Indian travel agents. 10 years ago, it was about asking everyone, kindly switch your mobiles off. Today, if we're talking about switched on, I think it's a little bit hypocritical to say that. So I'm going to ask you to please switch your mobiles on. Keep them on silent so you don't disturb anyone else. If you need to take a call, you can leave the room. But you'll see why I'd like that. I think we're in an age where there's a need to be always connected. It's our responsibilities as speakers to make sure you're not distracted and have to do WhatsApp. We'll take the onus on ourselves.
So you have a different relationship with the cruise. So it's really important that you match the right customer with the right cruise. And you're only going to be able to do that if you have the experience and the knowledge. Now, the good thing is cruise lines invest heavily in training. They provide great tools for travel agents in terms of their product, and they are the experts in their product, and that should be a great first port of call. But clear as CLIA, we provide generic cruise and destination training in order to make sure, again, that you sell the right cruise to the right customer. Because once you get them cruising, they will come back to you a second time because they will have enjoyed their first cruise experience.
I always say that your net worth is equal to your network. Your net worth can only be enhanced when your network is enhanced. And the network is not just about handing a business card. The worst way of networking is just go around while having coffee and sipping some cocktails and just go around handing a card. Networking is not about card. Networking is about a followed up relationship. So I think this kind of off-site gatherings and conferences facilitate that kind of networking because it's not just one meeting, but they're together for 3 to 4 days.
Setting the perfect tone to the convention, Dalaman provided the guests a lot more than the scenic landscapes and world-famous beaches. It provided them with an experience that would last a lifetime. But now it was time to move to the second leg of the convention, Antalya.
I am happy because at the starting point, no one believed us that we would bring TAFI here for a convention, but we tried so hard. We were a small team, but we did a big job. And from now on, I am sure it will be like a snowball, and there will be more Indian visitors coming to the region, and they will bring other Indian visitors coming to the region.
Travel Agents Federation of India presents the International Travel Convention 2017 will return after the break. Antalya, where mountains meet the sea, a beautiful coastal destination for tourists to immerse into Turkish history. The final leg of the International Travel Convention 2017 was organized at the quaint and scenic city of Antalya. Day 4 of the convention opened avenues for guests to interact with members representing the Turkish hospitality and tourism industry. After 4 days of tour, travel and various sessions, it was time to wrap up the International Travel Convention.
Without your support, without your contribution, we cannot achieve our targets, which we have achieved, which we have reached already, but we have an ambition to reach 1 million tourists to host in Turkey. We are ready to support India tourism development, to promote India in Turkey, that we can able to send many more travelers and tourists to India. You can be sure that Turkish people, they love India. They don't like India. They love India more than like. They fun of India because a lot of culture and history. It is incredible country to see. And I can tell you that 80 million population of Turkey are aiming and dreaming that one day they can visit Taj Mahal and visit India.
I would like to say thank you for being here on behalf of myself and on behalf of Antalya citizens. As a Turkish nation, we always take care about India as a great nation and place of a peace with Babur Shah, Jihan Shah and Gandhi.
What a great hospitality. A big thank you on behalf of my entire delegates. The hosting of these two regions, I promise you, His Excellencies, it's not going to go waste. You're talking 1 million passengers. India is going to reach 50 million passengers in the next 3 years. And if we talk about 2030, we will be sitting on more than 100 million. And what you're talking is only 1% of our total market share. Ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues, is that a difficult target? It's too easy target for us. What we expect from you is the dignity and the respect. What Indians give it to the tourists, we are expecting the same in return from you.
The convention was wrapped on a high note with traditional Turkish performances for the audience. The Travel Agents Federation of India's 11th International Travel Convention opened several avenues for Indian-based tour agents and operators to view Turkey and its various offerings in a completely different light. One for the bucket list. Turkey is a destination for all kinds of travelers and will leave you wanting more.
Partnered by Times Influence.